Well, if there can be no arrangement, then we are at an impasse.
I'm afraid so. I can't compete with you physically, and you're no match for my brains.
You're that smart.
Let me put it this way. Have you ever heard of Plato, Aristotle, Socrates?
Yes?
Morons.
Really?
And welcome to
Morons Mince Movies.
I am your host, Moron Sam Munoz, and I'm here with my fellow morons, Ublester Erectus Peñalosa II, and
nickname
Arkham Scrotus Arturo. And today we are talking about Furiosa, Mad Max Saga. That's right. Well, you always delayed on all your... You're never together. Always delayed. Never together.
Yeah.
Directed by George Miller.
Oh,
Yes.
by the way, I didn't realize he's 79 years old.
Yeah,
Holy shit, I didn't know he was up there.
The first Mad Max movie came from the fucking 70s, I believe.
And he was a
Late
doctor.
70s. He was a doctor?
Yes,
What?
he was not a filmmaker. He was a doctor.
Oh,
by the way,
shit.
so
Well, I
I
didn't know that.
rewatched the original films, everything leading up to this.
Really?
I did.
Wow.
Jesus,
I
the
can't believe it.
commitment.
It was great, man.
And the time you have.
Oh, thank you.
Must be
I,
nice.
I have one child compared to the two, which
This is
I'll
true.
get there. You know,
gonna
we
change
have
soon.
Yep.
Gonna change soon.
I know. We have another one coming, by the way.
I have seen the original and the second one, Road Warrior, I believe
So
it's
you've
called.
never seen Thunderdome?
I never seen Thunderdome.
2 men enter, 1 man leave. You have no idea where that's from?
I heard that many times.
That's
It's
from that movie.
Thunderdome. Oh, shit. Fucking A.
Bless you. And actually, the music video of California Love, Tupac and Dr. Dre, featuring Roger from Zappa Roger, is an unofficial spinoff. I'm just kidding, it's not. But it's very much inspired. Yeah, it's literally
inspired by Mad Max.
They have their whole Thunderdome and everything.
Very
All
cool.
right. All right.
As you can see here, and everybody, welcome to the Wild Wild West.
I see no
No,
face.
please.
He's putting you to work.
Please, just that
It's gonna
one
be-
clip.
It's not even gonna be Furiosa up here. It's gonna be the Mad Max original one from like fucking 5 years ago. That's gonna be the poster on the back of us right now.
Anyways,
but
let's get into it. Let's
Yes.
get into it. General thoughts. Where should we start?
I think we should start at the fact of. Go ahead, Uble.
Okay, go. All right, Uble. Go, Uble.
Listen, so I watched the Mad Max Fury Road that came out. How long ago was it?
10 years ago now.
Oh,
10
really?
years ago?
No, it wasn't
No.
like
2014.
7? I thought it was.
2014.
Wow. Dang. I
The
can't
one
believe it's
with
been
Tom
what's
Hardy
his
and
name?
Charlize Theron.
Tom Hardy
Yeah.
and Charlize Theron. That came out 10 years ago.
Correct.
You're fucking
No,
bullshitting
look
me.
it up, dude.
No.
Dude,
You've obviously,
what do I have
you've
to-
obviously
It's
Oh,
2015.
2015.
9
Sorry,
years.
sorry.
9 years
Still,
ago. Yeah,
It was
that
off by
seems
a
more
year.
believable than 10 years.
5 years
But,
ago. I mean, 9 years ago.
All right,
Seems
listen.
more believable.
I just want to recap my initial impression, which is
Of course.
9 years ago, I saw this fucking movie, which is essentially was a high-speed chase in the fucking desert.
Fuck
and I
yeah,
thought,
it was.
this fucking movie is just action-packed beginning to end. It stands in its own level, and I know you might disagree, but I had never experienced the movie where they just figured, let's not really focus on the storyline or dialogue. Let's just focus on the fucking action of
You're
this
talking about
high-speed
Fury
chase.
Road, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Fury Road. So I was expecting that going into this, right? I was expecting, are they going
Like
to
spectacle.
do the exact same thing, or are they going to try to maybe add some storyline? My initial impression from this movie is that I liked it because of the fact that they added more of a story. They added more of the world building to this movie than Fury Road did. Fury Road, it was like you either know about this world and why shit is the way it is, or you don't. Here it is.
Have you seen any of the originals? But
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I've seen
I'm
the
just
originals.
curious. Yeah.
Yeah, but for this one, I absolutely fucking enjoyed it. I felt like it was a good, it was a good
Prequel?
prequel. Yes, there you go. For Furiosa, for Furiosa, it did address this. So I didn't think that I would care enough about Furiosa when I watched Fury Road. I was like, this is it. Okay, she's a side character. Yes, she has some side shit going on, but how interesting can it be? This obviously proved me wrong. That's.
All right.
Okay. Am I gonna go next?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So if you've seen our top 10 of the 2010s, which should be over here, Arturo put Fury Road in his top 10.
I did.
Which I went in and like started talking about how I felt that movie was overrated. I still feel it's overrated. I'm not saying that it's a bad movie.
If I may.
It's a good movie. I just feel like people give it weight. I mean, yeah. What are you gonna?
Fuck
say?
you, Sam.
Okay.
How to get it out? Okay. Go ahead. You're fine.
I mean,
to your opinion.
Fury Road was nominated for
Even
like
if you're
10
wrong.
Oscars. It won like 5 of them.
Well deserved, well earned. Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Well
I
know
nominated.
that,
It's a multiple Grammy.
Multiple Grammy. Yes.
Academy Award winning.
The songs were that great.
I mean, the soundtrack might have maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think it might have won score. I don't know. I don't remember what.
Multiple Academy Awards.
A lot. Yeah, it did
I think
win
it won
multiple
6
Oscars.
out of the 9 it was nominated for.
Was there 6?
Yes.
I think it had 10 nominees. I don't know if it won 6. So I thought it was
Jesus
5
Christ,
or. I thought it was
really?
5 or 4.
It was a lot.
It was a good amount. And I remember that award season watching the Oscars and being like, how the fuck is this movie winning everything?
You must have been so
Fuck
mad.
this movie.
And while I was over here going, fuck yeah, that's the movie.
I recognize its technical qualities. It's technically a well-made film, but I felt the story was just so fucking nothing. It was nothing. It's a car chase, and that's all it is. A lot of great stunts.
She's clearly trying to get to the green place.
yeah.
She is saving a bunch of young.
Having said
wives.
that,
Yes,
I will agree with Uble. I think Furiosa is a bit of a step up in the sense that there's a real story here. That actually is not just a car chase. There's a lot of car chases.
There's a lot of car chases. Motorcycles, flying kites.
big trucks and tanks and fires and everything like that. But there's at least a story which I appreciated much more than I did Fury Road.
one.
Now, having said that, I will say that I thought this was. I know you guys are gonna
Say say it full on.
I thought this movie was very
Shit.
meh. No, it was very like it was.
Oh, okay.
It was just like the movie ended, and I was just like, yeah, okay, and
Yeah.
it was all right. That was fine. It was just very fine. It was very
That's cool, man.
very fine, and that
Okay.
was it to me. Like I'm sorry. It was just, that
No,
was, that's all.
Sam, don't apologize,
That's-
man.
yeah.
Because
Some positives.
It's your opinion, man.
Some positive. I do think the stunt work is top notch as the other movie was. It's at the same level of stunt work. Very good practical effects. And there's some good cinematography here.
Some
good camera movement.
cinematography.
Yeah, there's good.
Some
I mean,
really good cinematography.
I mean, it follows the same sort of style as Fury Road. If you've seen Fury Road, it's similar style.
Fuck yeah.
I will say that the visual effects are not as good as
Really?
like there's some moments where you feel like it's a little cartoony. Like it wasn't like there's moments there where like the background feels very green screen. Like they didn't really do a good job of kind of blending, the real actor with what the background was showing and so on.
it's a tough.
And some of the acting was a little off. I will say Chris Hemsworth was fantastic.
I was going to say
He was the best part of the
Yeah,
movie.
man.
Yeah. I mean, just again, I think it was just a fine movie. Nothing special, nothing great, nothing terrible. It was fine.
Can I?
Well,
Before you respond,
Sure.
Arturo, because I know you probably have more than I do.
yeah, go for it.
From someone who is probably most connected with your viewer, which is like, I don't know a lot about this universe. I love it, but I don't know the full details, like the timeline. And oh yes, this is where Mel Gibson's character is, and this is where Furiosa lands, and this is where the time change. I don't know any of that. Or maybe I do, but I don't
timeline
remember.
between the original trilogy,
It
I
comes
think is
after.
pretty linear.
Yeah, it's after. Yeah.
And then
Mad Max
and then
1,
Fury
Max
Road, I think takes place after the
this.
first 3, and then this is like a prequel that's
to
kind of
that.
in
Yeah,
between
it's in between.
Thunderdome, which is the
Yeah.
third one, and Fury Road
Yeah.
is what I would be.
So what I was trying to get to is, like, I'm gonna be honest, man. I enjoyed myself because of the adrenaline that I felt with the action sequences. The storyline was awesome. I don't feel like it took away from the film. I don't feel like it was bad. cool.
listen,
It's awesome to have extra details on why this person is here or why that person is doing that or why this shit doesn't agree with. That's awesome. I'll welcome it. But the action sequences, anytime there was the oil rig, anytime there was a motorcycle chase, like there were times where, and I feel like movies don't do this enough, right? If I'm watching a movie and it's like an awesome.
Also very awesome.
It's a very awesome action sequence where it's choreographed and they put a lot of work into it. A lot of the times it's very short because of the fact that it takes so much work to choreograph this fight scene and the explosion and the visual effects. They're very short-lived. I felt when watching this movie, and maybe you can agree or disagree, but there were some long extended action sequences where I felt like, okay, we've already topped. There's nothing. There's nowhere else they can go from here. Oh shit! There's fucking flying kites. God damn it! There's flying kites.
No, there really was flying cats. I'm sure there was a flying cat somewhere in there.
What I'm trying to say, God damn it! What I'm trying to say is that the action sequences in this movie were long and they were fucking spectacular.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They didn't feel repetitive. They didn't feel like
repetitive. That was one of the things I felt they were repetitive.
I completely agree.
They were similar.
Everything felt
They were
fresh.
similar in the sense that there was a chase. Yes, this group.
That's always a chase.
No, right. There's always a chase, but how that chase plays out.
Yep.
With
what
how
vehicles
characters,
are being used.
the vehicles, the way they respond, the way they take down that person, and the way this enemy takes down this part, and now they had to repair this section, and now like they were long sequences, and they weren't. I remember when I was watching the Matrix movies, I forgot which part of the original Matrix ones it was, maybe 2 or 3, but there's a scene where they're in the highway. And it's like it's a long one, and you're just like, it's okay. I'm kind of feel over this already. Like, oh, there's motorcycles now. Okay, let's get on with it. Oh, they have superpowers and they're slicing the swords. This didn't feel that way for me. This felt fucking like I wanted more of it. I don't know if that makes any sense to you.
No, it makes perfect sense because that's how I felt about Fury Road, where it was moments where I was just
constantly like,
God
oh shit,
damn it, like
more.
Just fucking. I guess for most people they don't get tired of the action, but for me, if the action becomes like meaningless and it's just like this is one of the criticisms I have about the later John Wick movies, where it's just like he's just shooting, everybody's just shooting. He's killed the 300th person. Why the fuck do I care? It doesn't make it any more exciting that he killed it in some other unique way. Like I want my action to be meaningful, and that's why I felt Fury Road was kind of that. I got tired of it. Like, okay, whatever. I agree. This does a better job in that sense, where the action felt more meaningful. There's a good reason why, especially I don't want to go into it because we're not going to the spoiler part.
We're still in general thoughts. I haven't even fucking spoken.
Holy shit!
Yeah, sorry.
Are we?
Yeah. But I agree with you that this is a little better in that sense.
Okay.
In that sense, yeah.
General thoughts.
Oh shit! It's my turn to talk. Oh, thank you guys.
Go for it, Arturo.
You talked a lot during the X-Men episode.
Yeah,
this is the Furiosa episode.
If you want to hear Arturo talk, go to X-Men Part 1.
It's been 13 and a half minutes.
Hey, Arturo, you're here.
Thank you guys. Hey,
go ahead.
So I thought this movie was fucking awesome, and I had so much fun with it. The end. No, I'm kidding. So I went into this so excited because, okay, as we mentioned earlier, I watched every film leading up to this, and I was really curious if we were going to get, out of curiosity, just any callbacks, how we're going to see the world set up, because, again, this was a prequel. So it takes place actually during the events of the first 3 films. Exactly where, I haven't looked up a timeline, but it stands to reason because of that. And
that's true, I guess.
There was a Mad Max cameo in this film. I don't know if you guys caught it. Yeah, the car and just his back. That's it. He just took her someplace. I thought that was so well done because then it doesn't fuck up the entire timeline of where he was or here or this and what. He didn't know her in Fury Road. He just saw a random person, took her to somewhere, and they can heal him. That was it. I thought it was really well done.
I did like that. Yeah.
Within this film, I'm going to totally echo what you said, Uble, in terms of the story. And because Fury Road, I fucking love. But this film had such a much deeper story to it. I'd argue it has the deepest story out of all films, I'd say. To be perfectly
Yeah.
honest,
All the Mad
And-
Max
yeah.
movies. Yeah.
And seeing
Yeah,
her
yeah.
character origin and where she
It's
come
a
from and what
vengeance.
she went through and this whole revenge story, but ultimately she was just trying to get home as well. She gets kidnapped. Like this thing
Yes.
is everything that's happening to her. It's not that she went like trying to choose this life or anything like that. And this the development of the character gives even more weight to Charlize's version within Fury Road, and you see how she's getting there. Because sometimes prequels happen just for the sake of happening,
Yeah.
and at some point they're going to get to X, Y, Z. But the fact of how this film carried itself and leads directly into the events of Fury Road and has those clips play out throughout the credits.
Yep.
To me, that gave everything just
Yeah.
a much more
Honestly,
finality to
yeah.
the film, and in
Yep.
the sense that it wasn't just a case of, okay, let's build prequels and let's keep making more films just for the sake of making them. There was a story that George wanted to still tell about Furiosa, and it was in this film. It wasn't, let's break this apart in 2, 3, and 4, and 5.
When
It had that direct lead in.
when she tattooed the map on her arm, I thought, okay, this is Chekhov's gun. This is the only reason why they're focusing on her tattooing the map on her arm is because they're gonna eventually show her cutting off her arm because
Which
we
was-
already
I
know.
was waiting to see how that
we
was gonna-
knew
yeah.
that though.
We already
that
know,
was-
yeah. But
yeah.
see, I was expecting it to be something more along the lines of like her cutting it off her arm so that they don't know the map.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they made it where she cut off her arm because
To just
that's the
escape.
one thing
Yeah.
that she was being held by. She
And
needed
it was
to
already
cut
half
off her arm
shredded. Yeah.
Spoilers
to
from here
escape.
on out.
Yeah.
No, I thought that was
Yeah.
incredible because I was thinking the same because it would have been so easy just to be like, oh no, don't want you to know the truth. But the fact of how it happened and the fact that that
Yeah.
also explains why it took her so long to get home because she didn't have that map anymore. So there was more to it all now.
And when I was watching Fury Road, I was wondering like how did she gain the trust of this the bad guy? What's his name?
Morton Joe.
Yes.
And
So-
clearly we see that in this film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now it kind of just adds more context to
Oh,
that.
100%.
So
Yeah.
I will say that this film definitely adds more context to the universe. I feel like it's not forced. I feel like my grade for Fury Road may have even gone up
Oh,
because of this movie. Because now I have more context to it. Now I have a better understanding of what Bullet Town and fucking Ghost Town.
Gastown.
Gastown.
It's a different movie there.
Yeah, Ghost Town is not a very farm one. But yeah, no. Like that, all that shit I wasn't entirely familiar with. I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys were. If you guys were walked into it already knowing all these different
No,
shit.
that stuff does.
The answer is yes for me.
Oh.
Arturo is an expert on Mad Max.
I am.
Oh,
I
okay.
become one. And in addition, I just really wanted to, now that Chris Evans was on the screen, the performance in this where I thought were fucking great. Anya Taylor-Joy is a powerhouse, and Chris, he was a villainous delight.
I will
like
say,
you could tell
yeah.
he was having the time of his life.
He did
playing
really
this
good. He
role.
was the best
Yeah,
part of
and
the
he
movie.
was the best part of this movie, man.
To me, it's still Anya, but I loved his. He did steal every scene he was in.
No, for
Yeah,
me it's
he-
Chris.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chris is the.
It's
is
Chris. He nailed that Australian accent, man. I don't know how he did it.
Yeah, it might
I
have
don't know
something to
how
do
he
with
did
him
it.
being there, like being from
Being
that.
Australian.
Yeah, being Australian.
You know what?
Yeah.
That may have helped. But he nailed it. I feel like he got it down, which is not an easy task.
No,
to
but you
pull.
could tell he's having the time of his life playing this role, and it really came through on screen. And it gave you a different depth to his character because it could have easily been a one-off. It could have been, something really like was one-dimensional. But you were engaged in his character. You wanted to see more of him.
Yeah.
And throughout the
Yeah,
film,
and
I was hooked.
I actually, that's one of the criticisms I have. I wish they would have gotten a little bit more into his past because there's a lot of allusions to what's going on with him and why he is as demented, being Dementus his
Dementus.
name, as demented as he is. he has this teddy bear that he holds close to him. Apparently, it was his children's
Yep.
teddy
Yeah.
bear. There's a little hint of maybe he might be lying about this whole thing that I got throughout the movie because he is so evil and so demented.
I mean,
that
it's
I
true, yeah.
feel that he could have been lying, but and that makes me think that maybe the fact that they didn't show anything about his past actually kind of builds a little bit more to his villainy.
You know what did for me actually to parallel Heath Ledger's Joker. In the
Really?
sense that we didn't really know entirely where he came
Or where
from,
he
whether or
came
not
from.
he was
It's an
telling us
origin
the
story.
real version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We see him lie until, this is my daughter. and she's not. We know that. So like,
Yeah, he lies a lot. So why wouldn't he lie about his past?
That. And the way he was using the people as pawns when they were trying to break into Bullet Town, and all that, or was it
It's Gastown.
Yeah, Gastown. Thank you. And even his like right hand says like, dude, what the fuck? You're fucked up, because he literally killed them to get in and have this whole.
He needed to make it look real.
Exactly. So like, I agree, man. There's a lot to his character that we don't officially know, and it actually, it would have been cool to see a little bit more.
How would you guys feel about the next movie to this being like a prequel to one of those characters, like a prequel to now Chris we saw the prequel to Furiosa's character. Now let's see the prequel.
No,
to Dementus.
I don't see it happening, but
I think George Miller is going to make another Mad Max movie. It's
he's
called
making another-
Mad Max Wasteland, I believe.
Correct.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
Which
yes.
actually is supposed to bring back Max into the
Mel
story.
Gibson's Max.
No. Just
Mel
Tom
Gibson's
Hardy.
not coming back. Probably Tom Hardy.
Yeah, it'd be Tom Hardy. To the forefront, I should say.
Why isn't Mel Gibson coming back?
Did you guys stick around for the
Because
post
he's
credits?
fucking like 60-something years old.
Okay, I thought it was something else. Don't get mad at me.
Did you guys stick around for the post credit scene?
No, I didn't know that there was a post-credit scene.
Okay.
What was it?
It was just a brief so visual. So we get the as I mentioned, the credits running through Fury Road and this and that. And we see it interestingly ends. It doesn't keep going when Nicholas Holt's character in the Fury Road, where he sacrifices himself.
Yes.
Or the car explodes, and then like the steering wheel fades into the screen.
Yes.
And that's where it ends. The post-credit scene is a really quick image of the little vulture head thing that he had on his display on the car dash.
On the car dash? Oh,
So
okay.
does this mean we're getting Nux is still alive?
I have
somehow?
no idea. I don't know.
It could be just thrown in there as a reference. I just thought those were real interestingly connected. Of course, the internet has its own theories. But the only film that I know for sure it's happening is Wasteland.
Yeah.
And that's all I want, honestly. Like, I've been loving digging into this world and getting deeper into it. I love post-apocalyptic films. This has always done it really well. There's a Wasteland convention that happens.
Really?
Yeah, that I really wanted to go to the year Fury Road came out, but...
is it in the desert or something?
It is, yeah. It's in the desert.
Oh,
yeah, it's here in California, and it
And
looks super fucking cool. People get they dress up, they do the cars.
Everybody
there's
bring the
everything.
car. Yeah, it's like
a weekend.
a lot of gas guzzlers.
I think it's
in
Wasteland Weekend, actually. I think that's what it's called.
Interesting.
Yeah, me and Maya were thinking about going to it, but that was the same year I proposed, so there was a lot going on, and then we got married, and then COVID happened eventually. But back to the movie.
Yeah, let's get into this. What are you gonna say?
The only thing I was gonna ask is, as far as the universe itself.
Ooh.
So
Go ahead.
that excited you.
Yeah, 'cause I wanted to say something.
The universe that we are looking at, I still have. Excuse my ignorance. I'm still trying to understand it.
Yeah.
So in this universe, this entire universe, there was an apocalyptic event. Did they ever explain what it was that led to?
Yeah,
for some
every
reason,
film goes over it in the very beginning and talks about it.
Again,
all over.
forgive my ignorance. Forgive it. That means forgive it.
They go over it
What-
in the beginning of this movie, man.
No, they don't.
They do.
Yeah, they do. There's a
They
whole
literally
scene
have-
where
Yeah.
where the trees are being like
And they-
destroyed by an atomic bomb of
And
some
there's
sort.
subtitles happening as someone's doing a voiceover of
Yeah.
why we're
I
in this
vaguely
situation.
remember that, but do they ever say like there was a war
There
between?
was a nuclear fallout.
Yeah, it was
there
basically nuclear war and
fighting over water, gasoline.
the resources got
resources.
depleted.
Do they ever like mention like in the U.S. this is what's going
It's
on?
Australia.
And it's just
Australia.
focused.
And
all
that's-
of these movies,
Yeah.
Yeah.
from the beginning to the end, are just focused
In
on
Australia.
the outback of Australia
Correct.
and these like fucking nomads,
Correct.
these tribes
The
that have.
survivors.
And
of the fallout.
that's an actually really interesting thing because there's a whole universe out that can still be explored.
Exactly.
But
That's why
this
I'm
is
asking.
all Australia.
That's why I'm asking is because I was curious. Again, forgive my ignorance with these movies. Is
I'm
I
not
never
forgiving
actually
you.
stopped. No, you have to forgive it because I
don't.
said forgive my
no,
ignorance.
no, that doesn't matter to me.
My
Yeah.
ignorance has been forgiven.
No.
I never understood how like this related to the rest of the world. If like why was in part one Max still had like
Well, in
normal
part
life?
one, there's still
Yeah.
like somewhat
Yeah,
of a
it's
normal
still-
life.
There's
yeah.
still somewhat of a normal life to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now we're living in this post-apocalypse. But there's still like
Well,
motorcycles.
As the movies progress, it starts to get more and more
You know,
like
it makes sense more.
apocalyptic.
Yeah,
And
no, I was
interestingly
just-
enough, I thought watching this film, this is going to be a nitpick from Sam, but it's interesting that you bring it up instead of just seeing, because this film takes place in the past, and we see how post-apocalyptic it is, and yet, the very first film isn't, and where that like lines up and at what part, but the world is more decayed here, but it's over there. I mean, that could happen. I mean, that happens today. You have first world countries, you have third world countries. So, just to expand on that,
I would be interested to see what shit was like outside of this part of the world, but I look for that. I do appreciate this as a franchise, as a universe, where they can basically come in and say this is what happened, and now we're just continuing that with different characters or different plots. I'm fucking down for it. I can have another 10 to 15 years of different Mad Max movies directed by George Miller. I'm down for it.
I think George Miller will die in like 10 to 15
I could see there being a series that happens like on Max or something.
And on Max.
On Max.
How appropriate.
With different places of the world, like, and seeing how their fallout happened.
Let's get into the story a little bit, because we haven't really talked about the story.
And I really want to get into it.
So Furiosa. Furiosa is kidnapped from the Green Place, which is where her family and her people were, which is in a place of abundance in this wasteland area.
Which means plenty, and to have a lot of...
What does that mean?
Yes. Thank you, Arturo. I mean, I'm sure people know what abundance means.
Well, I'm referencing the dude that's explaining everything to everybody. That was such a great plot element. Just this guy explains everything in case you're lost type thing.
And so she gets kidnapped by these bikers, these people who I guess were, I don't know, doing some scouting or something like that.
Yep.
And they take the girl. They're trying to get back to Dementus to tell him like, hey, there's this place, and here's the girl with the proof and everything like that. And the mother of Furiosa is chasing after them, trying to get her back, and she's like a wonderful shot, by the way. Just fucking
great sniper.
Great sniper. There's some good stunt work going on here. Great action events. They managed to get her to Dementus. Despite the mother's best efforts, it's just that one guy who manages to survive.
But the way Furiosa handles it as a child, then
very impressive.
She's already kind of trained.
Yeah, and this is what I liked about this. Sorry, Sam, to cut you off.
Go.
But basically, yes, it starts off with anxiety for me because of all the fucking movies, every fucking movie that shows a child or 2 or 3 or 4 children making stupid fucking decisions gets me the most anxiety. And this is exactly that. There's these 2 siblings or 2 friends or whatever you have it.
They're siblings.
Yeah. They're siblings.
Furiosa and Valkyrie.
And they're out and they're like picking fruit, and Furiosa, her ambition is too big. She wants to go for the bigger peaches. And the sister's like, yo, dude, this is it.
Whether or not that was an Easter egg for Super Mario Brothers.
Yep. Let's get out of here.
Peaches.
They announced it.
I thought it was more of like an Adam and Eve, picking the apple.
Clearly, it's just Anya voice,
no,
Princess Peach.
They're in Georgia.
Obviously.
They're in Georgia. That's why there's a peach. So what I'm trying to say...
Georgia?
Peaches. That's the national
fruit. Yes, I know.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is it starts off with 2 kids.
Georgia, Australia.
Basically doing some shit that they're not supposed to be fucking doing. And of
out.
course, Elite... No, they're not just hanging out because there's obvious boundaries of where you can go and where you can't go. Furiosa decides to go beyond those boundaries in order to grab herself a nice piece of fruit. Well, what the fuck happens? She gets fucking spotted. There's fucking trouble, a brew... And she gets caught, right? She gets fucking caught. No,
yes.
She gets caught and she gets taken away.
Yes.
And one of the other little girl is like announcing it to the rest of the village. This Furiosa has been caught. The reason why they need to catch them is because if anyone finds out where they are, then there goes their whole little pocket of civilization. Yep. It's this nice little fucking civilization that they've created for themselves. So they, like, the mom of Furiosa is dead bent on going and stopping these fuckers.
Yes.
Does she succeed? No.
No.
How is her death? Fucking gruesome.
Yes.
Right?
So
Brutal.
Dementus ends up capturing her.
Yes.
After she does take out a lot of his men, though.
She
by
does.
herself.
Yeah.
She's a badass.
She bottles them in. And another reason why I fucking just the anxiety that I get from kids, she gave Furiosa a very clear instruction.
Go back.
Go back if I'm not there in an hour, or if you see shit go sour, you fucking go home. Leave me here. You bounce. What does Furiosa do? She sees her mom in danger.
Well, it's her
She
mother,
fucking runs.
man.
I don't give a shit.
That's completely reasonable.
No.
It's completely reasonable.
You get instruction.
What child would follow your instructions
Thank you.
when
child-
you're about
Thank
to
you.
die,
a
man?
child
Sam.
that in this
The
type
fact
of
that I have
environment.
Sam backing up
I
Sam
know,
right
but
now.
listen, you guys are thinking in today's terms.
I'm only criticizing unreasonable.
No,
moves in a movie.
listen.
This is completely reasonable.
No, Sam and Arturo, listen to me. If you were
he
living,
points at the camera.
yes, because you're watching this right now. You're on your phone or you're on your laptop and you're watching this.
I'm watching
You're gonna be like, "Oh fuck, what a fourth wall that he broke." I don't give a shit. Fuck these two. I'm talking to you now. You need to understand that in today's world, yes, it makes sense that you would be like, "Why would you disobey instruction?" or "Why'd you?" But we're talking
fuck.
about in a post-apocalyptic world where it would be presumed that you would tell your kids, "Listen, shit isn't
Can't
fucking
believe we're hanging
Cocomelon."
on this part.
God damn it!
Out of all the things
It
in this
just-
movie,
It made me angry because at the very beginning of this movie, right away you realize that it's the kids. It's the kid's fault. If the kid had either been given better instruction or if the child would have listened, all of this movie would be maybe 10 minutes long. That's what it would be. It would be a 10-minute long movie, but it's a fucking 2.5-hour movie because a child was like, "I know better than my mom. I'm gonna do
That is
what I
not
want
what
to do."
she thought.
That's exactly what she thought, and it
mother-
makes me angry.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry. I'm
God.
just fucking.
All right.
I know. I digress.
All right.
all right.
Okay, that's the first 30 or 40 minutes. You don't see Anna Taylor-Joy. You
It's
see
actually,
the
I
child
think
actress.
It's longer than that. I don't know.
Maybe
It's a
more
long
than
time.
that. Yeah.
Because
Which-
after the mom dies, you get to see
She's still
She's
little.
still, she's still
Yeah.
with
she's like
Dementus.
Dementus's captor, and
then
they go to the Citadel
Yep.
to meet Immortal Joe, or whatever
Immortal
the fuck
Joe.
his name is, and he's trying to invade the Citadel. Immortal Joe's like, come and get it, bitch, and he basically fucks
I
him up.
like how that happened, by the way, because the first one where Dementus shows up and encounters like a small village, he's able to strong arm them. Like he's able to flex his muscle and kill them and take over them. So
Yes.
he shows up to the Citadel thinking, same shit. These are all peaceful people. I'll be able to flex my muscle and I'll take over. And boy, was he wrong.
Oh yeah, very wrong, very wrong. Yeah, so then he goes, he retreats because he basically gets his ass kicked, and then he I think finds there's a gas town, discovers the gas town, and comes up with the plan of like, we're gonna
gas,
take
a
over
hopper, yep.
the truck that's going to get the gas. They have the Citadel has a whole deal with the gas town people, to exchange resources, and he's
I like
going
this
to try
plan.
to invade, take over the fucking truck,
Yeah.
and basically invade Gastown.
He was gonna make it seem like the truck was being attacked, so the truck had to turn around and go back to Gastown. And the people that were attacking this truck, easy there. It's all right, man. It's okay.
Yeah.
You got some sand in your.
Continue,
So get us
continue.
something to drink. Get him a Truly. He needs a beverage.
No, truly, for God's sake.
I'd rather
No!
choke.
Okay.
I'd rather
It's this or you die.
I'd rather die.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Speaking
So
of
anyway, so they devised this plan where there's these fucking trucks that basically are leaving Gastown with a bunch of
Gas.
gas,
yes.
and material. So they attack those trucks, but they don't stop there. Their plan is, let's disguise ourselves as the bad guys. You disguise yourselves
They're
as the
called
good
War
guys.
Boys, I believe.
Yep.
You turn around and you go back to Gastown and you say that you're being attacked and you need the gates opened. And I like how that whole shit played out because at first, when they're like, hey, it looks like they're coming back, they're being attacked, should we open the gates? The guy in charge is like, nah, something's wrong. They're not really killing anybody, which is because it's all planned. And then fucking
which I referenced earlier.
Yes.
Dementus realizes this, and he's all like, fuck it, let's kill them to make it look more real. So he starts killing off his fucking own soldiers to make it fucking look real. And that leads them to like, fuck it, open up the gates. This is legit.
And they immediately take over.
And that's where Dementus gets access to Ghost Town.
God damn it.
Gastown. I'm going to call it Ghost Town.
Which leads to the deal that happens, which is a pretty good scene. I like that scene.
I like
the whole negotiation scene. He's got the leader of the Gastown, which I believe was supposed to be the brother
Ghost
of
Town.
Immortal Joe. Or what they just call him brother or something like that.
Yeah, his brother.
Yeah,
brother.
but Immortal Joe is just like, I don't give a shit.
Immortan.
I'm sorry. I think it's Immortal Joe. Immortan Joe.
We should call Immortal Joe next time.
Next time, yeah. But Chris Hemsworth, Dementus, has this whole like contraption going on where he's got like a harpoon.
How long did he expect it to last, man? He's holding it back.
I don't understand why it was attached to his nipples. I don't get that.
That
why
was weird.
It attached to his nipples the whole time?
There's the other guy with the
that was
nipple
you,
clamps
Sam.
all episode, the whole movie.
I thought that was you, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
that
it's a
was you.
thing for them.
it was the best scene in the entire movie, mostly because I was turned on by the whole nipple extraction.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but it was weird that it happened that way. But
The guy don't understand. He's like, I can't hold this much longer. He fucking the
And he
harpoons
gives
the
it to
guy's
him,
head,
yeah.
and then his fucking nipples get like completely pulled off, and then it's like and he's just
How did you
bleeding
feel-
there
Yep.
while he's talking to Joe.
I think he even said something about liking it or something. It reminded me of you, Sam. Even
It
while
did.
watching the movie, I was like, Sam.
I was touching my nipples as I was watching that. I was
Way
like,
to go,
other dude.
man. Yep.
Yes,
You
yes.
just made it.
And then the movie keeps going.
No, we stay on that.
Oh my god.
Well, yeah. Okay,
It's gonna take us forever to get through it.
Yeah,
If you guys go through everything,
There's a
like
whole
every
there's a whole
fucking-
negotiation, and they decide, all right, we're gonna work together. We'll give you food, you give us gas. Let's move on. And then we fast forward, and the Furiosa is getting older. She was originally going to be a wife, which is an important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's
And then one of the
It's so difficult to talk about this entire movie because there are so many different
yeah,
parts
this
that
is
we're
the-
missing.
unlike Fury Road, which is just a car chase, this actually has some story.
Yeah.
and so but then Erectus, I believe, was the son of Joe.
It's Rictus.
Oh, it's not Rictus?
No.
Are you sure it was
I'm
Erectus?
100%.
I thought it was
I'm pretty
Erectus.
sure it was
It's
Erectus.
Rictus. Look it up the cast. It's right there.
Erectus and
It's
Scrotus.
Rictus. You want it to be Erectus.
I'm pretty sure it's Erectus.
It's Rictus.
I'm gonna continue saying Erectus. I
Watch.
don't care.
Well, put it
Until you
up,
prove
pull it up,
otherwise.
pull it
Don't
up.
pull
It's
it
right
up.
there. Rictus.
Don't pull it up, Noah.
Rictus. Oh, it's Rictus Erectus. We're both right. We're both right.
Aha.
We're both right.
I knew there was
It's
an
Rictus
Erectus in there.
And the other brother is literally shortest.
Part of Homo erectus.
So anyway,
So I believe Erectus was getting erected, and he wanted to basically, do some horrible things to poor little Furiosa. But little Furiosa outsmarts him,
she escaped.
runs
A little
away.
bad. She like straight up just escapes. Like that was
Yeah.
it. Like
Yeah.
I love it.
as far as everyone knows, she's just left.
She's gone. Yeah. So then you fast forward.
'Cause she-
I will say I don't like that they never really kind of touched on that. There was never any focus on the response of like the morning of.
Oh,
What the fuck?
yeah.
Where is she? Did you let her out? Where is she? Had to escape. Let's look for her. Send out the hounds. None of
hounds.
That. Yeah, none of that happened. It was like, oh shit, Furiosa escaped. Now let's move on to 10 years later. Shit's just business as usual. So they could have shown a little bit of like,
They could have, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
But
all.
yeah, I
That's
mean,
all.
at this point, no. Now she is played by Anya Taylor-Joy,
Now she's pretty bad. Yep.
and we see that she's made a life for herself. She is this badass mechanic who also has a bunch of skill sets, and she is hiding
shaped
her
herself.
identity.
Yes.
Yeah, she has her hair hidden,
Yeah.
and she has her face. Everyone assumes she's a mute. and clearly she has a good
Yeah.
like
And the
relationship
boy,
with her
a
team.
man. She also people
Yeah.
think that she's a man.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it just that's her
Bisexual
identity,
is
her
a
gender,
yeah.
everything. And she's known for her skill set, and she's completely immersed herself into this world, and we see that along the way she is doing this tattoo, and she is writing everything down. With that plan. Everything's laid out.
There's some trouble with one of the machines, and they're like, "We need someone tall to help you there," and they pick this
Someone
old
short.
man, and you're like, "Oh fuck, this old man's gonna die," and then as soon as he starts going down, her character Furiosa.
Oh, that's true. That's right before. Yeah.
And
then
they're
she
like,
becomes
"Never
this
mind, you
badass.
go."
Yeah.
And
That's how they recognize
performs,
her.
Yeah.
She gets
Yeah.
kind
She
of like
performs this amazing
promoted.
fucking job, and they're like, "Congratulations,
Yeah.
here are these gloves."
But
They
she
don't fit.
So the big thing about the whole montage that happens is she helps build this new truck, this new tanker truck that's going to be bringing the gasoline back to the Citadel, and she has a plan to basically use the truck during one of these trips. Basically take it over and use it to, I believe, get back home and whatnot. This is where we get one of the best action scenes, I think, in the entire movie,
By far,
which
by
is
far.
where they're trying to get to Gastown, and they get attacked by some rebel motorcycle gang people that have kind of rebelled
Yeah.
against Dementus.
Yep.
And there's a whole fucking great scene here. A lot of great action.
And this is
This is where the kites show up.
Yes,
Not
this
the
is where
cats,
kites
but the
show up.
kites.
not the cats.
Not
Yeah.
the
I
cats.
believe
That's
there was
later.
a cat.
No, I agree. This whole sequence was incredibly well done. It kept elevating itself. It became
Yeah.
a spectacle, as you mentioned. And we also find out that, oh, shit, she's a girl.
Yes, she
I mean, we
reveals-
always knew she was a
reveals
girl,
her-
but-
well,
They-
she
The
reveals
people.
herself.
Yeah, the people. The Praetorian wasn't Jack? What was his name?
What?
What was the
the
name of
dude.
the main
Yeah.
guy, right? The guy,
Yeah.
the
The
love
actor's
interest.
name is Burke.
Burke. Can you
Tom
scroll
Burke.
down, producer, please? Go down. Thank you.
Oh,
Not
no,
too fast. Too
too
fast.
far,
Too
too far,
fast.
too
Too
far.
fast.
Go back up.
Tom Burke.
Praetorian Jack.
Oh,
That was good.
Praetorian
Yeah.
Jack.
And
Okay.
Praetorian is a title.
I liked him.
Oh.
I liked him.
I
He
think,
was cool.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
he's great.
Well, I will say, okay, so, God fucking damn it, man.
You
had-
forgot
I
what you were
love
gonna
that he had like the black eye makeup on his
Yeah,
face, and
that
like
was
you
cool.
could
That
tell
was
that
very
that's where
cool.
Furiosa got it from. I
Yeah.
thought that was really well done. And yeah, this sequence really showcases like the action we're going to get in this film, and this the level of technicality and what we're getting with everything. So I saw this movie in something called Screen X at Orange Spectrum.
I saw your story.
It's
yeah.
where it's an IMAX. But when and as we know, some movies that are filmed in IMAX, not every scene is in IMAX. But for every time there was an IMAX sequence, the screen ended up on the walls.
What the fuck?
It was in 3. It was literally in front
Yep.
and one on the side. Oh, thank you. That's much easier. So it was.
What?
So seeing like the screen in front of you and the cars moving and the kite flying in and out, dude, it felt like you were at Universal Studios, and it just elevated my movie watching
I
experience.
gotta go to this fucking
to
theater.
a fucking 11. It was so fucking awesome.
God damn.
3 walls?
3 walls.
That's my mind can't comprehend that, man.
So I can't look in more ways than just one. But it felt a lot like the Kong experience at Universal Studios.
Oh, okay.
Where like there's something happening everywhere. But you never felt lost either, because it's clearly not, there's not shit above you. But it elevated these sequences for sure.
So, sorry.
Go for it.
I wanted to bring this up because I don't know as far as how familiar you were with this entire universe. Bullet Town, Gastown,
Citadel.
Like if that was something that started from the beginning, but I personally
It
really
wasn't in the
enjoyed-
original Mad Max
Okay.
movie.
So I personally really enjoyed that this movie kind of really set up
Fleshed
this
them out.
It
Yeah.
really
The world.
fleshed out this universe.
Yep.
Because prior to this, honestly, I didn't really know much, and even the little bit that I knew, I just kind of figured, okay, well, why? I had all these questions always. Why aren't they doing this? Why did it never turn to this? The fact that this movie really kind of fleshed out that whole Bullet Town. And,
Each town has its resources,
each
and
town
they all
has its resources, and Dementus came from just the outside and just fucked shit up.
Mm-hmm.
And the way he did it, and what ended up happening when he eventually succeeded, with Gastown and how that shit was going just to shit. That whole scene where Furiosa and her partner go
Jack.
and like before they can finish loading the fucking everything, they start
The
getting
hell
it's
breaks
like a
loose.
riot.
Yeah.
The
There's a
riot
riot.
breaks out.
Yeah.
Like that's where I feel like that's where the adrenaline, at least for me, kind of started. And I want to say that before we eventually end this episode, throughout this entire movie, even the part where they were focusing on the story more than the action, I felt this sense of adrenaline. I felt this sense of like, I wanted to know what was going to happen next, and I didn't know. With most movies, it's predictable. With most movies, it's like, for sure, what's gonna happen is X, Y, Z. But I personally felt like with these movies, it was just fucking no hold. Anything could have happened, and I would have accepted it. In this universe that they have portrayed, for all I know, a fucking airplane with the guy spray painting his mouth with spray paint could have fucking killed himself by crashing into a truck and then exploded, and that would have changed the entire. I would have accepted it. So that's all I'm trying to say about this movie is that it fucking kept me on my toes. The storyline was great. The Furiosa, how that whole scene with Bullet Town and how it was her final job.
Yeah.
Okay, this is finally. So I guess to
They had decided that they were gonna make a run to the land of abundance, the Greenland.
To bring it back around, this was basically Furiosa's final job with what's his
Jack.
name?
Yeah, Jack.
Like, this is it. I have the skills that I need.
The one last job.
I'm gonna do this. You go your way. We'll plan it this way, and that shit goes fucking south. And the way it goes south,
because Dementus has basically taken over Bullet Town.
Yes. And that's that entire sequence after this is I think, for me at least, I don't think there was ever any downtime where I was like, okay, this is good enough for me to use the restroom, or I can maybe focus on it. It was just nonstop for me after that.
I will say that the death of Jack, or it was very anticlimactic. He gets so after this whole
He
action,
gets dragged to death?
we don't really know what.
That you kind of do.
Yeah.
Does he? I mean, he does get dragged. You kind of assume he gets dragged to death, I guess, but you don't really get to see it.
Well, it happens for fucking hours.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
true.
The sun goes down and
there-
everything.
that's true.
There are some quick glimpses where you see dogs just biting at this fucking corpse being dragged by a motorcycle.
She had plenty of time to saw her arm off during all this.
That's
Yeah.
true. You're right.
I will say I didn't like that part of it, which is like the lax insecurity. Like, hey, nobody has to keep an eye on the prisoner.
Yeah.
You're fine.
How did nobody notice that she
There
was
was a
just
lot
like-
of dust. Do you not remember? It wasn't until the dust settled that they saw it.
I
That's
like
true.
those aspects how they would maneuver, but still, like,
Ooh, by the way, I thought that was really cool. Jumping back to one of the chase sequences, and because they're hauling ass in the car, but fucking Chris Hemsworth, Dementus, Thor, he's in his fucking big rig, his fucking monster truck, and just hauling ass right past. Yeah. And the sequence where to throw him off, she fucking just like does a donut
Right at the
and
end,
creates all the dust just to go around and go somewhere, like just all those clever little things instead of being just a straightforward chase. I thought it was so incredibly well done, and then you're like, okay, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Again, if there are a lot of movies where the action is meant to make up for the lack of story, and it doesn't land. I feel like if that was the case, I feel like the story was strong with these movies.
It
But
just enhances it.
Even then, the action by itself, without the story, just was enough for me to fucking be all in.
So let's get to the ending sequence
at
here.
this point we're getting Furiosa. She's doing her whole transformation, by the way.
Yes.
She's getting her metal arm. She tells him Morton Joe, like, he's mine. Like, like we're going to track him down.
Tells him that Dementus has taken over Gastown and Bullet Train and Bullet Train and Bullet Town.
Now you're doing it.
We're all fucking up now.
Brad Pinchos up. Like, this is my train.
And Snake's on a plane.
Yeah, and basically warns Joe here not to fucking invade Gastown. It's a trap. And
then Scrotus over here yelling, "There's only the fool's way."
Yeah, just a true fucking Scrotus that he is. And so this scene that happens afterwards is kind of one of the scenes I don't really like. There's this sort of fast forward where you just hear like a voiceover, and then the 40-day war happened or something between Dementus and Immortan Joe, and it's like you gotta get like a 30-second montage of just some fire.
That's a montage.
And then you're like, all right, we're towards the end of the war. Dementus has been kind of down to his final men. I kind of didn't like that because I felt like it was just sort of we got to skip over.
Lazy.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, let's just move over here. And instead of you could have just had one battle and just shown that battle.
Weren't you complaining about too much action earlier?
Yeah, but I felt like you could have cut some stuff that was sort of not meaningful, and then had this
no
battle.
praising you, Sam.
No, it's a package. It's a total package, Arturo.
So we are getting at the very end of this,
Yes.
and she hijacks a car, which is really funny and well done, because there's only one vehicle left in the entire town that's missing one wheel.
Yeah.
And she goes to turn it in for parts, but she's really stealing from other parts, and then she gets her own vehicle. She's chasing after her revenge. She has her new metal arm. And we come to this face to face with her and Dementus.
Yes,
face off, if you will.
Yes.
And the way that is handled, it's not just an immediate thing. The way he recognizes her, and she forces him to remember, like, you took my childhood, I want it back, I want my mother back. And this whole exchange that they have is so incredibly well done.
That exchange where he's basically telling her, like, war. There's always been war. There always will be war. Like, that's just that entire fucking speech was on point, man. I absolutely agree with you.
It was all well done, and then to have this also be like her now, she's in her Furiosa gear, like the literally the same outfit that the older Furiosa has. Like, it's just this whole transformation of her character. She cut her hair at this point. That was a big one, Uble. Yeah, I
noticed that one.
Yeah, why didn't you notice?
I didn't notice that the clothing. I'm not paying attention to the clothing of Furiosa.
Continue.
Thank you. So we get this epic point, and then we get these multiple options of what could have happened, and I love that how it leaves it a little ambiguous. And then even the voiceover talks about it of some say she did this, and some say she dragged him too, and then the version of that she plants the tree in him, and the tree is growing and taking nourishment.
Arturo, you're right.
Holy shit, that was so sick.
Completely forgotten about that.
He's just there like withering and shit, like, dude.
Okay, so throughout the whole movie, she was carrying this fucking seed that her mom gave her as a child, saying, "Promise me you'll fucking."
It came out of the peach that she stole. That's still was the whole reason for this. Yeah.
So the trigger of all of this fucking story is what the mom gave her in her hand and was like, promise me you're going to plant this shit and that you will fucking be able to grow, like, basically continue our shit. Yeah. And so at the end of the movie, she doesn't really answer at first what she did with Dementus. Some people say that I shot him in the front. Some people say I shot him from behind, but no one will really know. And then it shows basically an old, withered fucking person.
Everything I just said.
Lying on the floor with the fucking tree growing out of his crotch.
That's true. That was a point that I didn't bring up. It was growing out of his crotch.
Yeah, exactly. I was just basically
some would say it was a giant tree erectus that was coming out of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
Yeah, and then that slowly leads to her like always wanting to go back, and then we get the sequence of her visiting the wives who are younger versions of the ones we see in Fury Road. It ends with this, and then leads into the events, as we mentioned, that play throughout the credits.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
All right.
that was
And
so
see,
great.
in Fury Road, I always wondered, how did Furiosa gain this trust and like this ability to just walk amongst these people?
And now you
just
know.
Like that. And now I know.
Now you know.
Now you know.
Ding, ding,
Rainbow.
ding. Uble. I mean, Noel.
That's Noel.
No, that's the other brown guy.
All right.
It's hard.
Let's grade these guys. Let's grade
yeah,
this.
it's right out of the grade calculator over here.
Oh shit.
Dodo, you go first this time.
Oh, me? Okay, let's go.
I have a feeling where you're gonna give it. Can I guess?
Sure, why not?
I think this is going to be an A.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you are wrong.
What?
Whoa.
Yes, because this is an A plus for me.
Whoa. That
You
pretty
heard
much.
it here first, everybody.
You're gonna have to go damn low. So
A plus?
This
My
movie,
God.
I had
What?
an amazing time from beginning to end. Had such an epic story to it. The cinematography, the direction, the acting, what this film brings to the bigger universe, how it delves
Yeah.
into Fury Road, how much of Fury Road was
Everything
involved, like so many
in this.
characters that came back. And again, this is 9 years later, but it all worked and all made sense.
did,
And
yeah.
I love this world. I love how it expanded. Watching it in Screen X really did elevate it for me even more so because I felt I was in the movie. This is an A plus for sure.
Dang.
all right. What say you, little D? And I say that because don't you in the movie that's what
Little
they
D.
call
The little guy?
little D.
Furiosa.
No, the girl Furiosa.
Oh, a little
That's
Dementus
what
refers to
Dementus
her, yeah.
calls her
Oh.
as little
As
D.
his daughter, little
and that's
D.
your name because you have a.
Oh.
Anyway, what do you think? What's your grade?
I have I'm a little erectus. Oh man. Okay. Like I said at the beginning of this, I think this movie is fine. It's not not a bad movie. It's not a great movie. There's good stuff. I like the practical effects, the stunts, all that stuff is good. I do feel that some of the acting was a bit under par. There wasn't. I don't know. I came out of the movie feeling very like
Underwhelmed?
whatever. I just felt like this was a fun movie in certain parts, and it was just like okay in other parts, and that's just how it felt. So to me, it's just
What does
this
that
would be a
translate?
solid B in
solid
my
B.
grading scale. A B, yeah. That's what I would give it. A B.
I think I'm comfortable with saying that this movie gets an A minus. I don't even have to really think about it.
Wow, it's really
I love
A
that.
minus, man. Again, honestly, I love the actions. I love the extended action sequences. I like how they build on this universe. I like the acting. I was a fan of, like, I was skeptical for Chris Hemsworth's ability to portray something other than Thor, like that comedic but still a good guy. And he did, like, there were scenes where I was watching this and I was like, here comes the joke. Here comes the part where he forgives this person and lets them are free. And it's like, oh, fuck, no, he just went full hard. This is
full hard
Full
erectus.
hard?
Would you
full
say?
hard erectus.
Why is he hard?
Because of the character in the movie. Did you not watch this same movie I did, Arturo? But yeah, no, I everything about that made me enough to give it whatever grade
A
that I
minus.
said.
You forgot.
I was about to say A.
Oh
But A
shit! damn
minus.
it.
Since I said A
So,
minus, let's give it A minus.
So
This has
with
been-
Uble's grade of A minus, Sam's grade of B, and my A plus calculated gives the
A.
Morons an average grade of
A
A
minus.
minus.
A
All
minus.
right, Morons Mince Movies gives A minus to Furiosa,
Furiosa.
a Mad Max saga. Now, please tell us what you thought of our Furiosa Mad Max saga.
Did
Tell
it
us
make
in
you
the com-
furious?
Did it make you furious? Did it make you?
Oh,
Did it make you
Furious.
erectus?
right. Oh,
Did it make
did
you
it
mad?
make you John? No, there
God,
was
you
no, there was
just
nobody
totally
named. I know.
fucked it
Fuck, man.
God
All right, we race.
damn it.
Erase.
All right, there you go. And did it make you Dementus?
Oh, there you go. That would have been better. We're not cutting any of that.
No, we have to.
Please like and subscribe and all that good
Please.
stuff.
Thank you so much for watching.
And as always,
have a dark night.